Please help me. Let me in. Girl, imagine it's late at night, you winding down, and then you hear yelling and screaming and banging on your door at night. What would you do? Let me know, what would you do? I would ignore it, but others will open the door. But just for this instance, let's say that you opened the door. And when you opened the door, you saw this woman covered in blood, bruises all over her face. You can see that she's in pain. She's shaking so bad she can barely talk. She's scared for her life, and of course that's gonna scare you. But I wouldn't know because I wouldn't have opened the door. But everybody's different. And then she says, he's gonna kill me. And you looking at her like, who gonna kill you? And the woman that you're looking at right now, her name is Christine Wilson.
Her name is not Christine, it is Kristen Wilson, y'all. I don't know where I got Christine from. Like, girl, don't worry about the basket, but lock in.
And the man that she's terrified of is Jeffrey Paswell. Hey guys, it's Jessie May. I do true crime and makeup. If you're new here, if you're not, girl, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about this psycho right here. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let's get into the video. So this woman that you see, her name is Christine, and she just got out of a relationship, right? And one thing that you're going to see during this time, you're going to see how fast white people move on. They move faster than Mexican music, I promise you. Dang, can't you breathe? But yeah, months down the line, she on dating apps, like she looking for a new boo, okay? And then boom, she found a new boo, and that boo was Jeffrey. And Jeffrey and Christine, like they chatted it up, whatever, cool. And eventually Jeffrey asked Christine out on a date. So according to Christine, the first date, they immediately hit it off. He was saying that he was handsome and she was cute, and they just matched. And Jeffrey, he was doing everything right. He was opening the door, he was paying for the bill, he was buying her flowers. So then after that, you know, they little date, sometimes they would go to the mall, maybe like window shop or something, and she'd be like, ooh, I like that scarf right there. The next day he go to her house with that scarf that she liked. If she said that she wants something, like he's gonna go get it. And that was their dynamic for like a minute. So then let's say like 2-3 months passed, right? And she deeply got involved in this man's life. First red flag, but it's okay because we live and we learn. I mean, she met this man kids. He had 2 little boys, and girl, the kids loved her. I mean, they would call her mama and everything. I would have said, girl, I'm not your mother. But apparently he had kids from an ex-marriage, so he got custody of them children. So that's why they're with him. So they're not like casually dating no more. At this point, they just playing house. I don't play house. Who play house? Now looking back, all these little gestures is low-key love bombing. Like he was love bombing the mess out of her. What you mean? You barely know me and now you doing all of this. But at the time, she just thought she found her soulmate. But then little weird things start to happen, y'all. So eventually, like they were living together. Well, I think she was staying at his house. So eventually she was staying at his house. And one day she walked downstairs, go to the basement. She seen 2 teenage boys on the couch. She was like, who are these boys? He goes say, I'm just watching these kids for a friend. Now, please remember this. He said that he was watching these kids for a friend, remember. Then some more weird stuff started to happen, okay? Her name is Kristen, not Christine. I don't know where I got Christine from. Anyways, so Kristen sees some mail on the staircase, so she went to go pick it up. She saw that the mail said Jeffrey Paswell, and she was like, who Jeffrey Paswell? Because Jeffrey told Kristen that his name is Jeffrey Ian. So she confronted Jeffrey, right? And Jeffrey gonna say, oh, you're making a big deal. Ian is my middle name, blah, blah, blah. What you mean I'm making a big deal? You lied about your name. What are you talking about? Any man can lie about their name. They're going to lie about everything else. Yeah, he was just making her feel crazy for asking a valid question. Kristen, she just let it roll off her back. I mean, she was a little upset, but she let it roll off her back. She was like, okay, whatever. One day, she was just chilling on the couch or whatever. And on his phone, a name popped up named Allison. And she was like, who Allison? So she thinking like, is Allison his mama? Is Allison a friend? Like, who Allison? I'm pretty sure if somebody was calling your man phone, like you want to know who. So what she did a little research, right? And when she did this research, y'all, she went down a rabbit hole. So she Googled the number and she found out everything. That Allison was his ex-wife. And remember them kids he was supposed to be watching for a friend? Them kids was his kids. At this point, Kristen, she was realizing that this man was just fibbing. And she kept digging and digging. She realized that this man had 4 ex-wives. And then she found out this man went to federal prison. So now Kristen is furious because she's like, what? Like, who am I dating? Like, she don't even know this man for. And so what did Kristen do? Kristen confronted him. She was like, oh, when were you going to tell me about this? Like, what what are we doing here? And he got mad at her. He was like, why are you digging? Da 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 da. He was like, if I told you from the beginning, you wouldn't have given me a chance. And Kristen, she was like, yeah, duh, I wouldn't give you no chance. Like, you got 4 ex-wives and then you went to federal prison. Like, and Kristen said she was just too far gone at this point, and the kids already calling her mama, and she loved this man so much. So let's rewind it back. Back in October 1996, there was a woman named Sabrina, and she met Jeffrey at this Halloween party. Jeffrey said the same crap to Kristen. He was being funny, charming, confident, all of that. You know, we see the cycle. Eventually, they started dating. They got engaged. Things were going good. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, a switch just happened. According to Sabrina, Jeffrey slowly became abusive. And girl, that's the scary part about abusive relationships, because they don't start terrible. It's like, for example, on the first date, if somebody hits you, of course you're gonna leave. It goes one bad moment, apology, then flowers again, then one bad moment, apology, flower. Like, it's just like, nah, it's just a no for me. Over time, she became isolated from friends, from her family, and then eventually she gets pregnant. And Jeffrey, he's still abusive. Then Jeffrey started to sell drugs. He was selling drugs. He was doing drugs. One day, he took Sabrina's car and he drove it to Texas. And on his way, he got pulled over by the police. And then he got sent to prison because he was dealing with crack. So July 13th, 2001, Jeffrey, he gets sentenced to federal prison. So when he was locked up, he was writing apologies. And he said, I'm going to be a better man. They never changed. He was like, I'm gonna be a better man. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. Then Jeffrey gets out of prison in 2003. According to Sabrina, this man went right back to his old behavior, but worse. And Sabrina was thinking about leaving him, but Jeffrey beat Sabrina to it, and she was ecstatic. She was happy. She was like, this is the best day of my life. I've been wanting to leave you. So let's fast forward back to 2018. So Kristen and Jeffrey, they have been dating for about 3 months at this point. And in March, Jeffrey's youngest son tragically passes away. And according to Kristen, that loss brought them closer together emotionally. But over time, she started to notice that when Jeffrey got upset, he was very violent. Like, he didn't know how to control his anger. And she just started to notice these switch-ups. Like, one moment, everything's perfect. Then he switches again. He's very explosive and erratic. And she said that when things were good, they were good. But when they were bad, they were bad. At this point, we can clearly see that the dynamic was very toxic. And then eventually, the violence was just impossible to ignore. Kristen said that one day he started choking her. Whenever she tried to call the police, he would take her phone. And according to Kristen, like, this was the cycle. It was violence, good, violence, good, violence, good. Eventually, Kristen leaves him and she was like, I'm done. But Jeffrey, he completely loses it, okay? He was blowing up her phone, showing up at her house, begging for a second chance. Never give no second chances, okay? Don't give no punk. You made your bed, go lay in it. Heavy on that. Yeah, he was begging for second chances. And then one day, he gonna have his son go up to her house, knocking on her door, talk about some mama. I would have said, I'm not your mama. But of course, Kristen, she was emotionally, you know, attached or involved or whatever with the baby, because it's a baby. Like, Jeffrey, you horrible. But then Kristen, like, she folds, she took him back. She was like, you know what? Okay, I'll give you a chance. So June 8th, 2019, the night starts off good, okay? They're hanging out with friends, laughing, having fun. Everything seemed normal. And then later that night, Kristen decides she needs to walk her dog before she go to bed. Nothing feels wrong. Nothing feels unusual. When Kristen got back inside, everything changed, y'all. Jeffrey started to beat on Kristen. Like, she just walked through the door and he just started hammering on her. Like, grabbed her by the hair and pulled her upstairs and told her to wash your face because there's blood all over her face. She has a big old knot on her forehead. You know, black eyes. And he's told her to go to sleep. So she laid in bed. What else can she do? Then he got in bed. And then eventually he fell asleep. And as soon as she realized he was asleep, she was gone. She left. She sprint. I think we would all sprint. Ran to her neighbor house and she was banging on that door. And the neighbor herself, she was scared, but she opened the door and she was like, he after me, he trying to get me, this and that, the third. And then they called 911. So boom, officers got there. And the officers, they even said that when they saw her, like, she had big old knots all over her forehead. She got black eyes. Like, she been through a lot. And then they went back to her house to where he was. And when they tried to get his side of the story, he was trying to make it seem like she did that to herself. So you meaning to tell me I'm gonna give myself a knot on my forehead. I'm gonna make my own nose bleed, and I'm gonna give myself some black eye. Of course, like the officers, they did not believe that, and they said, "Sir, you're under arrest." Cause like what? And they realized that this was a pattern. So of course, after this, the engagement is off. But then he got bailed out the next day. So I don't know who bailed him out. I don't know how he got out, but he got out the next day. Kristen and her parents, they put in a protective order. So anybody from his side, family, friends, nobody can contact her. And so during this process of Kristen talking to an attorney to build a criminal case, she then meets Allison. And through Allison, she meets Sabrina. And all these women are just, you know, comparing their stories, like the manipulation that they went through, the rage, the violence, the apologies. And they realize this has been going on for decades. I mean, since the 90s, he has been doing this. Y'all, this is where everything gets crazy. I mean, this whole thing is crazy, but this is where things get really crazy. So during this time, this man is gonna go on 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days. So in 2019, Jeffree starts dating a woman in Russia, and her name was Varia. Okay, Varia, when I catch you. But this is what trips me up, because back in March 2019, he was engaged with Kristen. So while he was engaged with Kristen, he over here talking to a girl named Varia that's in Russia. Are we serious? Then in June 9, 2019, prosecutors say that he assaults Kristen. And then 2 days later, June 11th, this man flies to Russia to film a romantic reality TV show like nothing happened, y'all. February of 2020, then the show premieres. It was season 4. And viewers, they were digging. They were digging. They was like, they saw all these, you know, allegations of him being a woman beater. It was true, but at the time it was allegations. So they're like, how they let this woman beater on a show? And then he even did interviews, you know, trying to save his name, talk about I never hear no woman. The drug accusations, he said I never did that. Be for real. So then finally, October 2021, the case goes on trial. Each woman that he dealt with are testifying. The stories are so disturbing, but yet so similar. So then it was Jeffree's turn to talk, and he basically claims that Kristen did her own injuries, like this never happened. But the jury and the judge and everybody else in the courtroom that got some sense know this ain't true. Like, this man buff. Jeffree Paswell is convicted of aggravated kidnapping, domestic assault, and interference with emergency calls. Then comes sentencing. This man gonna talk about some, I got kids, I got a family. Okay, everybody got kids, everybody got family. What does this have to do with victims? What does that have to do with the victims, with the women that you beat on? Judge sentenced Jeffree Paswell to 18 years of prison without parole. So that means that he won't be released until 2040. And just like that, that charming reality TV image just falls, y'all. Because behind the flowers, the gift, the flirting, the cameras, behind all of that was a violent, disgusting man. And don't get me started on freaking Varia. So Varia, she's still with this man. Like, she's writing for this man. Like, girl, you want your green card that bad? Like, you want your green card that bad? You want your green card that bad? She's still writing for this man. Like, are we serious? But hey, that's okay though, because look, in 2040, he gonna get out of prison and then he gonna come beat on you, and then you gonna that's not funny. Ladies, if you're watching, be careful and learn from this, okay? Because I know I did. I'm glad that these women made it out from this horrible man, and I'm glad that he's locked up. He should be locked up for life, but you know, hey. But yes, that is all I have for y'all today. Thank y'all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.